Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick little reminder that we stream this podcast live every Monday on either Gavin's Altars channel or Phantom Preacher's channel, so don't forget to go check us out there as well. Links will be in the description below.
Morgan.
Yeah.
You're hosting.
But I've not really done this before, so I'm a bit might be a bit awkward at first, but I think my topic would be art, like in general. Like, well, I don't know. This is just a subject that I came up with earlier because, well, I like to talk about art and things that relate to it and everything, including games and movies and all that sort of stuff, comic books.
Yeah, and as far as visual art, I can't do anything near as good as you, but I can definitely respect art and watch it.
Yeah, I like watching art. I mean, I like watching people do it. But most of the time it's usually me watching it and then feeling bad about my own art, because especially when I'm watching someone that's got like amazing skill and everything, then I just look at mine and think, well,
Everything's practice.
Yeah, practice. I mean, always remember you can improve. And number one rule, every artist, no matter what format they're in, hates their own work.
Like Van Gogh.
Yeah, I guess so.
So even if it's amazing, you're still going to hate it because it's not exactly the way you wanted it.
Yeah, true.
No, exactly.
I know that's always been my issue whenever I draw or do something, is I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. Why am I not skilled in this? Like I can do a single eye, but as soon as I try to add the other half of a face, it's awful. It's not, it pisses me off.
Yeah, my face isn't not that great. I mean, I can do like the out shape, the like the shape of the face, but then when it comes to actually like doing the detail and everything, that's when I'm usually like, no, the eye goes there, no, the eye goes there, and it usually ends up one eye being lower than the other.
Yeah, that too.
And I'm just like, I just want to give it up.
I actually got kicked out of art class for my faces. Because I showed no improvement at all. He's like, how about you try this? I'm like, okay, do it exactly the same way I did before. He's like, well, you know, if you did it this way, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I completely understand. Do it the exact same way. And he's like, you know, wood shop is a really great class. And I'm like, thank you, bye.
Yeah, no, like all of my faces, because I get so frustrated. Always, you can only ever see half of the face. Pretty much what 90% of my faces end up being is half the face, because I give up. I'm either going to erase through the damn paper to get this right, or it's a half a face. It's covered with hair. It's behind something. I don't know, but it's half a face. I've tried doing the whole like draw upside down thing, which works for me for other stuff. I've tried, I don't know, who knows how many things, but yeah, no, it always fails.
I've used the upside down thing for forging signatures.
Favorite story about forging a signature? My little brother forged my mom's signature on a slip he had to take home from school about him being bad. It would have worked except for the fact that he signed it Mom.
I've actually even got a better one. Mine was a slip that it was for kind of a field trip,
Hmm.
and the signature looked perfect, except I misspelled my mother's last name.
Ah.
She has a different last name than me.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah, I didn't misspell my own last name, but I misspelled her last name. So he called her and he's like, you signed this paper, right? She's like, what paper? What field trip?
Uh,
Yeah, I was like in 5th grade.
kudos for the teacher though, who's only had you for a year that knows the spelling of your mom's last name, and you've known her for your whole life and don't know how to spell it.
Yeah, I don't really pay too close of attention though.
True. Considering most
I
kids
got off.
think their parents' name is mom and dad until they're like in their teens.
Yeah. No, I did. I didn't get in trouble, but I ended up going on the field trip anyway because she signed it anyway. And the principal gave me kudos because it was a fucking dead ringer, except for like one of the eyes that I missed.
Aw.
And yeah,
I remember when I was in high school and over here they give you planners, and the planners each week had to be signed by your
What?
parent.
Here.
And the thing is, no one, and I mean no one could be bothered to get the parents to sign it. So every week we just sign it ourselves. And the thing is, my signatures like differ all the time. Like it could be really neat one week, and then next minute it'll be like not neat. And I don't know how I got away with it, to be honest, but
The only reason I
um,
got away with it is because my mom always signed it her initials circled. So seriously, I just had to do two S's in a circle.
that was similar to how hall passes worked at my school. It was just the back of the planner was all these lines like a grid, and basically you put the time, the destination, and like the
Yeah.
signature or initials of the teacher. So they write that all in, put their initials in. So every single day, I would get out of every study hall and just go hang out in the parking lot and smoke cigarettes because I would forge another teacher's signature. And they never fucking checked with each other. Like, hey, did you give Kyle a pass to come to your classroom and period such and such on this? No, they don't talk to each other.
Error.
Yeah, I was a bad person. Got good grades though.
And our teachers, yeah, like our teachers never bothered to actually fill it out themselves. They're just like, yeah, put in what you need and I will sign it.
I
Thanks.
think after a while they kind of gave up with ours because like first few weeks or months they actually tell you to they give you like a checklist and they'll check it, but I think after a while I think they kind of just went, you know what, we'll just leave you to it, we won't check it anymore, we just can't be asked doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, out of
So
everything else I have to do during my day, checking if your parents actually sign this is the least of my fault.
Yeah. Teachers stopped checking mine when they noticed that there was like a hole cut out at the bottom of it, like in the pages. And they opened up the planner, and I had cut out a square for an MP3 player, and the hole in the bottom was for headphones, like a hidden book. And they're like, "What the fuck? Like, this is what you do with your time?"
That's some skill though, considering the size of MP3 players back then. Like, you must have had a really big planner.
No, it was when the iPods first came out. They're a decent size,
Yeah.
but
I guess
there's
iPods have always been like the kind of fairly flat square shape, so it wouldn't have been too bad. I had like
yeah.
this big honking blue thing that you could fit two memory cards in full of music.
Oh Jesus, yeah, mine
There's
wasn't
so
that big.
many. There was so many line-wired musics on there. My computer had AIDS so often.
No, the best part is the screen on mine didn't work.
So you to guess.
No, because there was like I don't know how many songs on there, but I memorized how many times to click to get to which songs I wanted. So I just marked on the front of the planner where my next button was, and then I would have the headphones run up my shirt, down my sleeve of my like shirt, and I'd be putting my hand on my head, and just like, oh, next song, boop, tap my planner, and the time that I got into the habit of stealing pencils and pens, I created this kind of a, you know, those things that they have for badges that are like nurses have that have the reels on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had makeshift some sort of harness up my arm and had one of those like inside my sleeve, and it came down into my hand. So all I had to do is I'd go up to somebody's desk and put my hand on their desk. I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, it's okay. Hey. And ask them a question or whatever. And as soon as I'd lift my hand, a pen or a pencil would shoot off of their desk into my sleeve. I got way too bored at school. I was so
Yeah.
ingenuitive, though.
That's special. Yeah, no, I just used the fact that I have long hair to my advantage. So I would do like the side braid, but I would have the head, like, I would have the MP3 player in my pocket. The headphones would run up underneath my shirt, and then I would braid it into the back of the braid in my hair, and then just have the braid go over my ear. So you couldn't see the headphone in my.
Yeah. I was big into using whatever I had in my environment,
Yeah, hair is totally in my environment.
and my hair was longer than yours.
I don't think your hair's ever been longer than mine. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
to see pictures.
I've got some old pictures. Yeah, it was bad. But the glue I used to do that hidden compartment was maple
The-
syrup.
I was like, was it the wood glue from shop?
Nope, it was maple syrup.
Oh God.
So my planner smelled like maple syrup, but it was jamming.
That's such a dad joke.
I know, right? I gotta work on them.
Yeah, you do. You definitely have to.
No.
I am good in the dad joke department, minus being a dad or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So, how are things across the pond, Miss Morgan?
Same old. Nothing changes around here. I feel like sometimes it's more like a schedule than anything else over here.
Same over here. We've got our own fair stupid going on, but in Tom and I's corner of the country, because we work together and we're both in Iowa, but nothing changes here. The only thing that changes is which field to put the corn in.
Or the soybeans.
It's the same thing. They have to rotate the corn and the soybeans.
And you know what the funny thing is, Morgan, is every single person who lives in Iowa knows that.
We do.
Like, no matter, yeah, it's funny. We like people who don't even farm, like us. We're on here 24/7, gaming or podcasting, have nothing to do with farming, and we both know that they have to rotate corn and soybean.
Okay, yeah. A friend of mine,
Anyway.
her mom is from Boston, pure city girl. Always had been. The first time she saw corn and beans and stuff like that was like not in a grocery store, was when they moved out here to Iowa. Well, her mom's a very visual person and uses landmarks to tell her where she goes. Well, the first year she was here, she didn't know that they swapped fields. So she's like, okay, to get to this person's house, I have to take a right at the cornfield. Well, the next summer, when they planted fields, she went down too far. She's like, why am I lost? And it had to be explained to her that the fields rotate. She couldn't use the fields as a marker.
Can't use the fields.
You can't. You get lost. Like, no, you have to use like the old school building, the giant willow tree, something, but you cannot use the fields. It's not going to work out in your favor and you're going to get lost as fuck.
That one barn that guy has that has no roof, but he still uses it for like the last 30 years.
Oh yeah, I mean it still works to park your tractors in. I mean he's probably got like a tarp or something in there. Then you've got the barn quilts. Barn quilts. They're basically just
Exactly.
giant wood signs that people attach to the front of the barn that look like they're quilted to say something or make a sign. So they call them barn quilts. It's just a giant wood sign that somebody put up on the front of their barn.
But
God, it was so cute though. A friend of mine, she is total city girl, went to this Iowa State Fair for the first time this year and
Oh,
got to
God.
pet a pig. She was ecstatic. She got to pet a pig. And she's like, "Did you know not all cows are fuzzy?"
yeah.
Yes, not all cows are fuzzy.
Wow.
She's so sweet though. Yeah, it always makes my heart a little warm when I see complete city people experience country things for the first time because they're just so amazed by it. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an animal, it's got fur. Sometimes it's fuzzy, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. Hell, we had down in my hometown, we had a fucking cow farm in the middle of town.
Oh yeah.
Guy wouldn't sell his land for development, so it was like a residential area. So you're driving through here, residential apartments, houses, businesses, and then just random cow farm in the middle of town, and then straight back into residential, like right in the middle of town.
Yeah, according to growing up, I lived in town, in a small town, and there was just one block across the street from us that was a cornfield because we were kind of on the edge of town, so it hadn't fully been taken over yet. So we had three doors to my house, one going off the back porch, a side door, and then the front door. And by insurance company standards, whatever your front door looks out at, if it's a field, you're in the country. If it's a bunch of houses and stuff, you're in the city. So the insurance company was like, "Yeah, you live in the country. You have cheaper insurance now." Mom was like, "Sweet."
Yeah, and that's one good thing about it.
Right?
But
It's also kind of sad being in the country, you get cheaper insurance.
yeah,
The great mysteries of adulthood. Insurance and why it's cheaper for some and not others. Like red cars. Why are red cars more expensive?
because they're faster, Panda.
That's not the way speed works. Color does not denote speed.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Red is faster,
Does-
yellow is fastest.
If that made any sort of sense, we wouldn't stop at red lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't. Oh, you do, but I don't.
I mean, yes, I agree with yellow is fastest because yeah, yellow
I
lights.
can
Yeah.
see the chaos now.
Oh yeah, no. It gets all kinds of like I see accidents every day on the way to work because people just don't.
Yeah.
They're more of guidelines than actual rules.
Oh my god, I almost threw something at a cop car one day because it was a turning lane going left, and there's two of them. So you would think if there's two lanes turning left, you're gonna stay in the lane you're in when you turn left. No, cop car turned and moved over in front of me in my lane. I almost threw something at him. Like, that's not how driving works. You're supposed to stay in your lane. You're a fucking cop. Why are you doing this to me?
I have had a few cool moments with cops though. I was driving back to Iowa from North Carolina, and 22-hour drive, yeah. And it was getting into the night, and there was a cop in the right-hand lane, and it was a 70-mile-per-hour zone. We're all going 80, and he's going 80, and we're all staying behind him
Yeah.
because he is going. Yeah, basically he's the pace setter.
Oh yes, it's one thing if the cop is going fast, but you cannot go faster than the cop.
Yeah. So this douchebag in a little sports car starts flying up in the left lane. And he's going like 90, and he starts flying past everybody like, "Oh, what the fuck is everybody doing?" And goes to pass by the cop, and the cop just flips on his lights for one moment. It's like, whoop, whoop. And the guy's like, whoop, and squeezes in behind him. He just immediately slows down, squeezes him. It was Like I pictured the whole thing as like a child being scolded. It's like, hey, I'm sorry.
Don't you think about it? I'm sorry.
Exactly. And it's probably because the cop didn't want to handle the paperwork because we were literally like a half a mile from the border to Illinois.
Right? He's like, nah, you guys are gonna get across the border, and then you're not my problem anymore.
Yeah. So he's just like, slow down. Just fucking don't.
Make my day easy, please.
Exactly.
There's a video on Facebook a while back. Guy was just creepy crawling, driving really slow in the fast lane. Cop finally had enough, flipped his lights on. The guy gets the guy to pull all the way over to the slow lane. As soon as the guy hit the slow lane, the cop turned his lights off and moved back to the fast lane and sped off.
Yeah, I saw that. Speaking of America, something happened recently. I started playing Friday the 13th, the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fun. You know, most of the time you spend being a survivor, just running around getting chased by Jason.
Mm-hmm.
My first game was as Jason, so I completely sucked. I didn't know the map or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like to look up strategies. I don't like to. I like to formulate my own plans. So after finally playing as a survivor, I could not, for the life of me, even get a Jason. I couldn't even play as Jason for like 3 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
And then once I became Jason, something, a switch flipped. I call it the American switch. Just brings out this murderous intent in you.
I was gonna say the stupid, but that works too.
And it happened so abruptly because I remember in my mind and in my heart when it happened, because I saw that I was Jason, and at first I was nervous. I was thinking, oh man, I've only played this one other time. What if and then the switch? And then I realized, I'm like, I know the entire map now. I know exactly what they're going to do and where they're going to go. And I know what the abilities are because I've played with it one time. I'm like, let's do this. So my first experience with Jason, I killed 2 out of 8, 2 out of 7, 2 out of 8 people. Second experience as Jason, flawless victory.
Woohoo.
Killed every single person.
Nice.
And it almost felt unfair because there was one point where this poor little girl thought she was going to get away. And there was a bridge. It was a covered bridge. I remember like it was yesterday because it was. And I ran up to her to get her, you know, like getting people do. and she hit me. She hit me with like a baseball bat or something. And she was just standing there looking at me. I figured she was talking shit or something in her
Do you
mind.
not play with your headset on?
No. Oh, I play with my headset on. I just turn off all the people voices. Which I'll probably turn them back on so I can talk smack, but that's neither here nor there. But she was just standing there for some reason watching me be stunned. Like she was waiting. I'm like, why is she waiting? I'm like, oh, she's probably got something that can stun me again. Because she a bitch. So I came out of stun and I started to walk towards her, and then I stopped abruptly right as she threw some firecrackers down, which is like a long stun for Jason.
Yeah.
And I stood there not stunned, just on the other side of the firecrackers, staring right at her, through her, into her soul. And this doubt and worry sank over her because she done fucked up. And there was that brief moment where we were staring at each other like, yeah, this is happening right now. This is happening. And then I take out a knife and she runs. I hit her with it. But she's confident because I can't get onto the bridge because the firecrackers there and they stay there for quite a while. So I can't follow her onto the bridge. So I throw a knife, wound her. She's wounded. And then she looks back. I'm standing there. I'm going to throw another knife. I miss. She's probably laughing at this point like, oh, this guy sucks. Looks back. I'm not there. Turns her camera back around, and she's already being choked to death.
Yeah,
And
no,
that satisfaction.
yeah. I know. So you really need to turn the voice. Oh my god, I can't talk all of a sudden. You really need to turn the voice comms back on. I know Gartic, he plays a lot, and last weekend or during the week sometime he spent like 3 hours worth of matches coercing a guy into saying he loved him.
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
Yeah, it was hysterical. I was watching for a little bit. Then he went on to other things, but yeah, it started off with Gartic calling the guy Pookie, and it was hysterical because he was like, "You said you loved me yesterday," and the guy's like, "I never said that." Yes, you did, Pookie. Don't lie to me. I didn't. You are mistaken. But yeah, like 3 hours of worth of matches,
Yeah.
and finally got the guy to say he loved him.
I was playing with Kartik. I was playing with him because he was streaming. I was his guest on the stream, and like immediately we get into a match, and his first thing he does is he's like, "Hey guys, I'm Gartic. I'm a streamer. Tom is a streamer too." And I'm like, "Oh great, let's get trolled all game." So we got trolled all game.
Well, like yes and no. It depends on who he ends up in the game with, but that's how he's really building up his followers and stuff. He's gotten a bunch of followers, and he's only been streaming for 4 weeks now, and he's already up in like the 50-60 range of followers.
But then the Jason we were playing against started watching his stream to find out where he was.
That's a little cheeky.
Yeah, so in games like that, I usually don't announce that I'm streaming or recording or anything like that because I want to get like real nitty gritty content.
Yeah, it's
I
weird
haven't
that he did it at the beginning. Normally he does it like at the end of the match.
That's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have. When I was playing with him, I had the voices on. But when I was playing by myself, I turned them off, but I still had the ability to talk to people. They just couldn't talk to me. Because I wanted to be creepy as Jason.
Yeah.
Like I had one where I was chasing this guy and he went into a house and he locked the door. And he wasn't looking back. So he ran up to the door. And by that time, I'm going around the side of the house. I lay a trap next to the window, go back to the door, and he turns around. I'm at the door. So there's no break there. He thinks I'm right behind him the whole time. So I start chopping at the door and I see him through the cracks in the door. And he's standing by that window. I say to him, I'm like, that's not a good idea, friend. You shouldn't do that. You should stay in the house. And he's just dipping back and forth, waiting for me to break through the door. So I do. And he's like, haha, sucker, jumps through the window right into a bear trap. He was dead 3 seconds later. It was just that satisfaction.
I told you not to do that. You didn't listen to me.
I usually warn people. I usually warn people.
Yeah, no, so far I've heard there's been that you can get a lot of really good gameplay out of that, depending on the group of people you end up with.
Yeah. I knew I was going to start playing it, so I haven't watched a lot of gameplay on it, but I know it's everywhere. Like all the big channels are doing it. Smaller channels are becoming bigger because of it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to see the strats. It's like my own strats.
And everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. I mean, is that there's some good ideas, there's some really bad ideas. But I mean, it's just like every other game. It's got its own. Everybody has their own kind of strategizing for it.
I like to unsettle them. Like there's the obvious you win and kill people. Yeah, because that's fun. I want them to worry. I want them to feel fear. Like if I run into a group of 2 people, I immediately kill the other one and I just disappear.
Yeah.
And that person's left wondering, did he turn on and stalk, which turns off the music? Is he still around? Is he looking at me? Does he know where I am? I give them a good solid minute to get comfortable. I think he left out. Maybe he didn't see me. And they leave the building and they're dead. It's like right there. And that's the bad part that comes out in that game. Is just you might be a serial killer.
Yeah, but you see, if we're not serial killers in video games, that means we might become serial killers in real life, and that's kind
Real
of
life.
fun.
Dude, hashtag goals. If I could make a living off of murder, my God, it'd be so easy. Can you sell people's body parts?
Military or move to Russia and become part of the mafia.
I don't want people
To
telling me
become
who
the
to kill.
machine. Become the machine.
Because then it's just a large organization saying, "Oh, Tom, you need to shoot this person." Like, no, I shoot who I want to shoot because this is a free country, and it is my right. The 15th Amendment: kill who you want.
I'm pretty sure that's not it. But if you want to go with it, I'll come visit you in jail, I guess.
Jail. You mean free rent?
Just make sure you introduce me to your new boyfriend once you're in there.
Oh, I will.
I
Be
don't
the
care if you
warden.
You'd be the warden's bitch.
You be my bitch. They're like, I thought that all of the when people visited, you're supposed to be like behind a plexiglass with a phone. Why are we standing in the parking lot? Oh, I do what I want around here. Yeah. You want to go get some ice cream? Warden gave me his keys to his car. Wave at him at the window. He shudders.
Little kiss, blow it to him.
Blow him a kiss. Yep. So your topic for this evening, Panda. Mine was murderous intent.
I just really want to. I want something small and fluffy. Like, we need to have a kitten library at work. You need a thing that
I
happens.
saw that on Facebook.
But then Gartic, who also works with us, brought up a good point. That wouldn't last like 30 seconds because you know there's going to be the little buttheads that are like, I'm allergic, I can't breathe. Nah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Like within 3 seconds, there's a reason we can't have nice things, and it's because people suck.
Yeah. There's a reason why you have the ability to go to the second floor in the elevator. Because people are fucking garbage.
Oh, I hate that. Every
Yeah.
time.
Get
And
in
it's
the
always
elevator,
when you're
somebody
running
presses
late.
2. Yeah.
It's always when you're running late where you stop at the second floor going from coming inside. Like,
It's like a
really?
group of 3 people who are obviously perfectly fine and can walk.
Yeah, it's like it's 14 steps. Just go up the 14 steps.
You have legs. Use them.
Exactly.
It's not my fault you can't breathe because you're a chronic chain smoker. Yes, I know you're a smoker because as soon as you walked in the building, I could smell the air around you for 15 feet.
Yeah. That's new to me. That's getting new to me since I quit smoking.
Oh yeah, the just the pervasive smoke smell. Oh yeah, I can
Yeah.
always tell when a group of smokers has just come back inside from break and has left the elevator because as soon as I get onto it, I'm like, oh hey, it smells like the inside of a cigarette here.
Yeah.
Yay!
Like I have no want to smoke a cigarette because I tried a couple weeks ago and it was just awful.
You're like, why did I do this?
And it was like, it doesn't hit as hard as a vape. So I was like looking at the cigarette and like, am I doing this wrong? Like, I'm thinking I can't be doing this wrong. I've been smoking cigarettes for 14 years. I mean, what is going on here? But when I walk by the smoking area, hang out in the smoking area, somebody's smoking,
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what kind of cigarette they're smoking. And it drifts past me. And I'm just like, oh. It's like smelling pie when you walk into a place that serves pie. And you smell pie and you're like, oh, it smells good.
But I want tacos. I've been craving tacos. But we're poor, so maybe on payday, but we have a lot of bills to pay. So excited though, because Gavin gets his first paycheck this week from his job.
Oh, I saw that.
Yay.
And my little boy growing up so fast. No, it's a good thing. No, he's excited. I'm excited. We can pay bills together, so I'm not starving alone.
It
Don't you just
happens.
love being an adult? In order to have a house over your head, you have to work a billion jobs.
Yeah.
So
I just picked up
It's
my
so
next round of
fun.
ramen. Yeah.
I was getting so tired of ramen. Like we got real food, and a friend of ours was like, "Wait, you guys are like real food? You guys are talking about having chicken and mashed potatoes, not ramen? It's been months." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. My insides don't know what to do with actual food now." It's like, what is this? This is not styrofoam.
I had a steak the other day. Oh my god.
Good. Yeah.
Ugh.
We had pork
Ugh.
chops, steak. Like in the last week, we've had like steak and pork chops and everything but ramen. It's been fantastic. I love food.
Yeah. Like I'm the shitty family member. Like a family member say, "Hey, you guys want to go out to lunch? I'm buying."
Okay.
And yeah, exactly. And I go there. I'm like,
Yeah.
uh, is 14 ounces the largest steak you have? Where you just like put two of those on top of each other? I want to speak to the chef. Like,
No, it's funny. I felt kind of bad because, like, on Mother's Day, my mom knows I've been struggling and all that shit. So, like, she paid for my grandmother and I to get pedicures, and then we went out to lunch, and she was paying for the whole thing. And meanwhile, everyone's like, "Isn't that supposed to be your job?" I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of is, but I'm also broke, and my mom loves me. So shut up."
my mother has to text me and remind me that it's her birthday or Mother's Day.
That's one of the things I love about Facebook is I don't have to remember those things because it remembers it for me.
I still ignore
I do too. I tend not to answer. I won't answer it on Facebook, but I will actually text my mother and or call her.
it. Yeah. And it's kind of sad that like my mother texts me at 10 p.m. on her birthday and she's like, "Hey, how's it going, son?" I'm like,
Happy birthday, you little asshole.
and I'm like, "Sup, comma, happy birthday, LOL." What are you doing? I'm busy. I'm like playing video games. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that. I've always been very, very kind with everyone. It's just being in customer service for so long. It's hard to be a dick to people, honestly, sometimes.
Oh, it's for you, honestly. For me, I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. I tend to find myself getting yelled at by my mother because when she starts to annoy me, I switch over to my customer service voice and she just looks at me and says, "Knock that off. Stop using your customer service voice on me." Sorry, mom.
Well, that's the problem. My customer service voice when I first started was very apparent, and then it was night and day between my voice outside of work versus my voice inside work. Now that I've been doing it for so long and so consistently, they've bled together. Where I've just like a really relaxed customer interaction, and then I just talk to everybody that way. And then when there's confrontation, like I'm prone to staying calm now.
I've when it I'm confronted with confrontation, I can tell the difference in my voice because I go from being actually friendly and nice to almost passive aggressively friendly and nice. Like we were looking, my supervisor and I, we were looking at my survey scores for a couple of my calls, and one was like, Allison was so friendly and nice and perky and da 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 da, and the next one was she was nice enough, but I'm like, that right there tells me that you were a jerk to me on the phone, so I was nice enough, but wasn't really doing anything for ya. No.
Yeah.
It's
And
fun.
my favorite interactions that we have
Morgan, what's
are
happening?
Nope.
when we're
Morgan?
outside and
Yeah.
somebody and one of the coworkers or something says, "Don't you just love it when customers tell you don't know what you're doing?" And then I look at him like, I've never had a customer tell me that.
Oh, I do all the time, and that's simply because I'm telling them exactly what the previous 6 people have been telling them, and they don't want to accept that as an answer. So that's not the right answer. So we don't know what we're talking about. We're incompetent.
Yeah, I'm pretty long-winded with my explanations, especially when somebody's running and gunning at me. Like if I answer the phone, they're like, "I know it's not this," so I will spend 20 minutes explaining everything that's going on in very excruciating, dumbed down detail, and at the very end of it, I'll be like, "And it's this," and they're like, "Fuck, he got me."
Yeah, no. Our favorite explanation for the advice team to customers is why they can't use IPv6 yet. Well, I know. Duh, duh, duh. Yeah, you know what? You've heard of it, but you've obviously not done any form of research into it because it's not used anywhere but like the government and some really big businesses. Like, you're not gonna get anywhere with it. But I did it. No, no, you don't.
No.
Stop talking.
Just
I was a network. I was
stop.
a network engineer. It's like, okay, but I've ran a trace route. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Why is my latency so bad? Because you're pinging off a server in China.
Exactly. Or my speed is slow. You live in nowhere. If nowhere was on the map, that is where you are. Whenever people put those like houses on Facebook, they're like, "Oh, would you live in this house, or if you inherited this house, would you sell it or live in it?" And it's like picture of a really gorgeous cabin in the middle of the woods next to a lake, and everybody else is like, "Oh, I'd keep it. I'd live there forever." And I'm the only one who's like, "Fuck it, sell that bitch. You can't get internet in nowhere."
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it never fails. Every single slow speed call starts off with this. I have slow speeds. Well, did you run a speed test? No. Okay. And how do you know you have slow speeds, not a slow computer? What are we talking about here? Every call. And then they don't know how to do it. Like, do you know how to Google? Because Google will tell you. Like, it's like we've come so far with Google that people have forgotten how to use it or when they can use it.
Which is always.
Right?
I mean, it's such a great time in human history. We don't have to think. We have Google attached to our asses.
Like, sometimes my favorite customers are
Yeah, I
always
do.
like the 80-year-old people. Like, they are so willing and patient to figure out how something works. Where younger people just like, they want it to work now. My power's out. Why is my internet working? Well, think really hard here, sweetheart. Your power is out. What requires power to work?
Or they ask you what's happening immediately after explaining it without giving you any other information.
Right.
They're like,
Or you ask,
I got a
also
phone call and this happened. Why did that happen? Like, that's a really good question.
what's your account number? Okay, sorry. I'm
I
trying
told
to
the
help
last
you.
I told the last 15 people that. Well, I don't care.
I
I
didn't
don't
talk to
care.
them. You did.
It's like saying shit like I've been transferred 5 times. I told this to 15 other people. I work at home. My internet's been down for 3 days. Saying shit like that is a waste of breath because I'm not fixing anything sooner.
the 3 days people irritate me the most because they're like, my internet's been down for 3 days. Okay, and you're calling in today. Looks like we can get a tech out in 2 days. But what? It's been down for 3 days. Well, you should have called 3 days ago and I could have had somebody sooner. But you waited 3 days. Like, it's
Yeah.
like
I had
that's
one
like
where it was like 7
yelling at the
days.
heat repair guy because your heater went out a week ago, but you only called him today and it's not fixed yet.
Yeah.
Can't fix it if we don't know it's broken.
My internet's been down for a week. They hadn't called in. I'm like, okay, it's been down for a week. They're like, yeah, I was just getting around to. I didn't have time to call. I said, we're 24/7.
Right? That
Just
too.
fucking call. I mean, if you
What
want,
is
if you
this?
want somebody, if you want a dispatch, call after 11 o'clock because you'll get a dispatch from the
I
village.
can imagine just them just looking at the screen of a computer and it's just completely black and they're just trying to tap it and everything to see if it's working. And after like 3 days, they're like, "Well, yep, something's wrong." It's like,
It's
have you
actually
tried turning? Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's like
No.
one of my favorite shows is The IT Crowd. It's a British comedy. It is amazing. I love it. It is fantastic.
yeah. Actually, it's funny, Morgan, that you said those specific details because I had that person where my internet hasn't worked for 3 days, and they're like, my screen won't come on. I'm serious. It's a black screen, and they're hitting their keyboard, wiggling their mouse. Nothing's working, and they want me to fix it. And it was such a tedious call that I ended up describing the computer. Okay, do you see the big part of the computer? The big part, we call it the tower. It has a lot of cords in the back, like a lot. And they're like, oh yeah, I see that. I'm like, is there any lights on that? No. Like, if you get real close to it, is it making any noise? No. Like, do you see a button on the front? Yeah. Press it. Well, it's making noise now. Oh, my screen's on. I want 3 days of credit. She wanted 3 days of credit because her computer wasn't. I'm like, damn, I apologize, but I can't give you 3 days of credit if your computer wasn't on. Like a power outage happened and shut off her computer. And she said, well, I think that's bullshit. I'm like, I think that there should be some large hole that people like you should be thrown in and burned.
That we have a thing called attempt deny, which is basically your internet's been shut off because you haven't paid your bill for like 6 months.
And they're bitching at us.
Yeah, they're complaining to us. We give them all sorts of notifications prior to this happening, by the way. And then when they finally do pay their bill and everything, they're like, I want credit for not having internet. No, you didn't have internet because you didn't pay your bill. It doesn't work that way. Oh God, we literally had a lady who, I forget who had her, but she was yelling and screaming and saying that she didn't know that nowhere in the contract or anything that was explained to her when she got internet service that said that if she didn't pay her bill, she wouldn't have internet.
Well, duh.
Like, this is technically it's a utility, and it works just like all your other utilities. If you don't pay them, they get shut off. Like,
Like, ma'am, I applaud you for one, reading the contract, because nobody does.
she didn't read it.
Because, there's all those people that work from home, and if you're running a business from your home on a residential line, that is a breach of contract. Technically, if you read the contract, and if you're running a professional business off of a residential line, it is a breach of contract. And they bitch at us because, oh, my internet's been down, I'm losing money. Like, congratulations, get an actual job.
I'm losing $1,000 a day. Then why are you only paying for 20 meg internet?
Yeah, exactly.
My wireless TV that's 2 floors and 600 feet away is not working right. I can't stream.
I had a lady with a 5-story house, and her Netflix wasn't working on the 5th floor, and her modem was in a closet on the 1st floor. was like, ma'am, no. Just no. You have to relocate that.
Just don't.
Well, that's where it's always been. I'm like, well, then it's always been wrong. I like that. They're like, this is the same way it's always been. Well, it's always been wrong then.
Have you always had problems? Well, yeah.
I've had this problem since day one. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that you think everything is fine in your home, even though you've been having the problem since day one. You haven't called for 3 months. Just send somebody out here. No.
No.
Nope.
And then when you tell them there's going to be a charge, why?
Why am I getting charged when I've had internet working for 3 months? Because you should have called me 3 fucking months ago. And I could have fixed it 3 fucking months ago. And then you wouldn't be so mad right now. Oh, Netflix. I haven't been able to watch Netflix for 3 months. Well, maybe buy a chessboard. Or shoot yourself.
Or there's a parent. My internet's down. What are my kids supposed to do? They're on summer break. I don't know. You were a kid their age when internet wasn't around. You do
Get
during the summer.
Get them outside.
Right?
Get them outside and play.
Oh yeah. No, I'm going to be the worst kind of fucking parent. I'm going to be
Read
a
a book.
21st. I'm going to be a 21st century kind of parent because I have internal networking skills, which
Right.
means that kid is not getting on the internet if I don't want them to get on the internet. Like, yeah, can't change your MAC address, kid. Bye-bye. Do your homework. Well, I need the internet to do homework. No, you don't. Learn.
Get a book.
Get a fucking book. Read. Shit.
Like, read a book. Go outside and play. Like, how do you guys parent for real? Like, I know, like, what are you guys doing? Seriously.
Leave them to it. Just
Don't know
leaving them
what
to it.
outside is. Yeah. Like, kids
Or
just
people-
don't know what outside is anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
People
I mean,
are.
When I was a
Yeah.
kid, all I had was crayons, paper, toys.
Right?
I didn't have internet. I had a computer. I mean, when we used to play LAN and all that shit. But still, it wasn't like computer 24/7. It was more like, oh, go out inside and play and get some fresh air.
Yeah, like I play more
Vitamin
games now than I
D,
did when I was a
whatever.
kid.
And people are so impressed that their children are, oh, these kids are picking this up so fast. It's like, yeah, because the
As soon as they're
technology is
old,
raising
they
them.
pick up
You
again.
aren't. Yeah. It's
Like,
like, oh, your
even my
kid's making
brother-
noise. You're handing him a fucking tablet.
Like my brother and his friends, like they played video games all the time. But if it was nice out, they were outside playing. Like they would only be on like actually playing the video games if it was extremely hot outside, if it was nasty outside, or if the sun had set. Like that's when they were inside playing video games. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you didn't know where the heck outside they were because they were just outside. My mom would just step out the door and yell at my brother. Like
No. No, I was the same way. I was always outside. And, I was, a little bit of a gamer when I was younger, but I was always outside. And now I go outside to mow the lawn once a week or once every 2 weeks. And I'm always inside playing computer games. But hey, guess what? I'm paying for the electricity. So fuck you, mom.
right? Like it's like now I'm an adult. I can do what I want because I've done the outside. I've experienced the outside. I can still go out and experience the outside. But I know there's more. I know how to do things. I know how to start a fire. I know how to do all that stuff. I know what camping is without electronics. Anymore,
Yeah.
all these parents are like campers with TVs and all. I'm like, no, dude, just pick a
No,
spot with a
That's-
tent. Like,
that's not what camping's about. Camping's about going back into nature.
yeah,
Look at the nature. I know how to make a spring trap and like rudimentary triage.
Like there's only one time that I remember us camping where we ended up having like a TV or something in the camper. And that's because we used to live in California and we would drive back to Iowa during the summer and we would camp along, like we would take a few days to drive back so we could go camping and see some sights and stuff. Well, my brother and I would be in the bed of the truck that was covered, and we'd have bean bags, and we'd have this old TV with a built-in VCR strapped into the corner, and we'd have the original PlayStation plugged into it, and we'd be taking turns playing video games on that. And so we had that in the back of the truck. Well, we stopped one night, and it was just torrential downpour all evening. We couldn't do anything. So my parents parked the truck really, really close to the tent and then strung the cable, the extension cord out, and then we set up the TV and the PlayStation up, and we played as a. I'm like, it was still playing video games, but we were playing it as a family. Like we're all taking turns. We were on teams, and we watched a couple movies and stuff like that. But that's because it was just downpouring after we got there, and we couldn't really do anything outside.
Yeah, it's awesome as a kid, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
remember when I was a kid, like we don't have as many computers as we did now, but at home at my mum's we'd have like 4 in the kitchen at one point, and we'd all play Far Cry or Half-Life depending on which one we'd fancied, and it was funny because most of the time we weren't even playing the game, we were just messing about on it.
Yeah.
No, my first computer was a Macintosh.
Ugh.
Yeah, Oregon Trail, motherfucker.
But
It
yeah,
was
like,
it was like the first thing that had a desktop.
yeah, and just
It didn't even have,
yeah.
there was no disk drives. I had a floppy drive, and I would like copy something onto a floppy and take it to school. So I could like, I think I even put like the executable file for Oregon Trail on a floppy and brought it to school and was playing that at school.
But yeah, like it's not even about kids just being glued to technology today. It's like people don't even know how to be like an actual family anymore. Like
No,
parents
the
don't know what
dumb.
their kids are doing. Kids don't know how to interact with their parents. It's like I hate it. Like just I see all of my friends and everything having kids, and I love the fact that knowing the people that they are, that's not that they're not going to have the way all these families are today. They're going to actually interact with each other and do things and be there for each other instead of just like, oh yeah, here's $20, go do whatever, just don't bother me type families.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be a paradigm shift once the kid comes, and gonna try to probably steer away from all a greater majority of the gaming I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean, I love
I,
gaming. I love it. I mean, I grew up in gaming. I mean, first game I played, I was 2 years old. Like I was really young, because I grew up on like Doom and all that. Um, but to be honest, it's not my number one priority in life at the moment because obviously I've got other stuff to do. But I'd rather be like outside, being exploring, enjoying the fact that we can still breathe air,
Right? Because that's
oxygen, and
yeah. My problem with outside though is like I love being outside, but outside hates me. Like mosquitoes and bugs just are attracted to me, and I'm always covered in bites no matter how long or how much bug spray I'm covered in, just always. So I tend not to spend too much time outside, but I try to get some time outside even.
yeah, I just usually when I do, I forget the little things like sunscreen.
Yeah, I went to the family's lake a couple weekends ago for my stepdad's birthday, and it's like everyone's like, "Do you want sunscreen?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine." At the end of the day, I was kind of cherry red. A week later, I was tan, and then I started peeling. It was funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got some color, not like brag about, but I'm not pasty white. I don't glow.
and those people were funny. That's
I
how
don't have
kids
this
are getting too. Like it kind of
right.
scares me with just lack of knowledge that I see with a lot of the newer generation. Like I saw a post on Facebook. It wasn't a post that somebody I know made, but it was a picture of a post on blah, blah, blah. And somebody was like, "Hey, I found this really old phone that had a hashtag on it, and that was before Twitter came out. Why did they even have hashtags?" And like one of their friends, yeah, one of their friends commented and was like, "That's so weird."
No. One of the scariest videos I saw was somebody had created a dictionary with the number with like the main words kids are using nowadays. It didn't include anything outside, like there was no bird or tree or anything like that. And we're like, yeah, my kids are going to know what those words are and how what they mean.
That's scary.
Like
Yeah.
bird
That's
and
really
tree.
scary. But they're just
Yeah.
turning the next generation into robots, basically.
Oh yeah. And you know, it's not. They don't think it's 100% important because they can Google it, but knowing the different types of birds, different types of weeds, what kind of wood burns best, how to build a fire, how to survive outside your house without electricity. It's basic survival stuff. Like, I want my child at the age of 10, if I drop that child in the middle of the desert, to be able to survive for at least 5 days. This is not something I'm going to test, but just know it. But, all right. So,
Disciplinary tactic.
this has been the TC3 Think On It podcast with myself, Morgan, and Nerd Gamer Panda. Thanks for joining us on this nice little small talk podcast. I think a lot of that just evolved into small talk, which was really enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.